Ding! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Film Geek Primer Live. I am your host, John Santo. Tonight we are going to be discussing... oh, you know what? My little thing is off. Why is my thingy off? Get my thingy back on there. Boom! That's me. That's where we're at. Nothing but blatant promotion. Yeah. That guy. Oh, shit. Everybody was confused.
Who are you?
Tonight we're going to be reviewing Dub's final curse upon the show before he had to go on hiatus. King Solomon's Mines from 1985, directed by J. Lee Thompson, starring Wilt Chamberlain, Richard Chamberlain. If Wilt Chamberlain was in this movie, we'd really have something. Yeah, we totally would have something.
Chamberlain.
Just the Chamberlain brothers.
Time!
Yeah. But 1985, starring Richard Chamberlain and a very young, very naive Sharon Stone, and some other people. Reese Witherspoon, no, John Reese. What's his name? John Reese Davies. Yeah, and Herbert Lom, right? As everybody's favorite Nazi or German. He was just a German. Yet. Yeah, they weren't Nazis yet. They were working on that. They were a step away from that.
He was the prototype.
Exactly.
He was the proto-Nazi.
The proto-Nazi.
Not so Nazi.
Not so Nazi. So, with us, as you've already heard and seen, we've got Tremendo T. How you doing tonight, sir?
Good afternoon. Good morning. Hello.
Greetings.
How's it going?
Good. How are you holding up, sir?
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
It has.
Yeah. I'm so behind in movies. So behind in any movie stuff.
Really?
Just been watching TV. Just catching up on binge watching, as they say.
Have you been doing the fall season thing? Is that the deal?
I've been seeing the Blacklist. It's on Netflix.
It's funny. Cool. I actually did. I did actually binge watch that a couple weeks ago. As awkwardly enough, I had nothing to do for a few days, and I ended up watching the entire show over like a 3-day period.
You know what? Another show I've been watching. Not to undercut the Blacklist, which we could talk about.
No, we don't need to talk about it.
The one show I'd like to talk to you about one of these days, maybe on this show or whatever, is Louie. Louie C.K.
Are you just now catching up on Louie?
Yeah, I just caught up with all 3 seasons.
Oh wow, okay.
I watched one season and just fell off the radar. But I'd like to see there's so many different kind of things that he's. Besides the comedy stuff, besides the stuff he wanted to do, besides being a typical, comedy. Kind of how he's influenced by certain cinema stuff. It's like cinema aesthetics. We see a lot of new wave kind of stuff.
Well, one of his editor's second season, or he brought in somebody to help him second season, and it was Godard's editor.
That explains it. I did not know that.
Yeah. She came in. I think she came in, and I forget if she actually cut stuff or she was advising him on stuff. Something like that. Yeah. But anyways, she had cut a lot of Godard's later works, so she's done a lot of work with Godard. So yeah, that would explain a lot of
because it has that. Besides the Woody Allen influence, there's a lot of the Godard new wave kind of stuff, and it's pretty mesmerizing show.
Oh yeah. No, it's pretty brilliant. Yeah, it's pretty brilliant. It's a show that is never going to get its due, but fingers crossed, it's one that kind of hangs on there in popular culture for a long time and is kind of passed on. It's one of a kind. It is literally, I don't know if I've ever seen. People. That's very hyperbole for a lot of people. Always go, it's an original show. You've never seen anything like it. You've never fucking seen anything like Louie on television. I feel.
Especially with the label that this is a stand-up comedian's show.
Yeah.
There's certain expectations.
Yeah, this is not a Seinfeld. This is not a.
You know what it reminds me of, though? It does sort of remind me of. What was the guy who wrote Seinfeld? The show he had on HBO.
Oh, a little bit of There's some. Larry David's, why can't I think of the title either? That's horrible.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curb Your Enthusiasm,
yeah. To me, it reminds me of Curb Your Enthusiasm, in sort of that, you want to say cinema verite sort of feel.
Right. I think Curb, though, tends to have plot lines that follow through.
Whereas Curb's more polished.
It is more polished, yes, for sure. But, like you guys are saying, Louie, he acts it, writes it, directs it, cuts it himself, on his own computer. He pretty much does 99% of that stuff. He'd hold the lights if he could do that too.
Mm-hmm. And I mean,
Pretty
he'll just
amazing
have
show.
he'll do crazy little storylines that just end. He'll do bits that have nothing to do with the rest of the show. It's much more just kind of daily life in a weird way, and then surrealistic touches and kind of, you know, like the morning. I forget what episode it was, but I think there's an episode near the end of the last season, season 3, where it's like the garbage men are picking up the garbage outside, and it's just a quick cut of the garbage men on his bed, like beating him with the can lids and stuff like that.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
that's just the feeling of having to deal with, like, being tired in the morning and having that taking place outside your window is what it feels like. And he does a lot of internal mind stuff like that. It's just kind of these blips of things. And of course, season 1, the classic bit that everybody always remembers still is he's looking at apartments and he's staring out the window and he sees a homeless guy out there. Car comes in, picks up the homeless guy, puts out a different homeless guy, and drives away. And it's like, yeah, it's like, what the fuck did I? And that was the moment where I was instantly sold on the show, because up until then I was like, yeah, okay, this is fine, and that happened. I was like, wow, okay, we're going somewhere different now, and this is pretty neat. And you just wait for those weird moments like that, and every episode now kind of has them. But yeah, Louie's, I really like Louie. I can't wait for that one to come back. Also with us, of course, Warren, Tuesday Night Lounging.
Kicking it old school.
That's like right. Latin. Nice, we like it. So let's get into this. The film, of course, as I've mentioned earlier, King Solomon's Mines. Now,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Aaron gave us this movie as a fuck you farewell kind of, in a way. You know, he was iffy about it because he wasn't sure. He'd only watched the first half, hated every second of it, or thought it was the dumbest thing he'd ever seen. So, you know, is it not? And now, Warren, I guess, has. If you don't mind, we'll start with Warren, because you have a laundry list of things here. So, did you just want to read through them, or do you want to?
When I'm watching a movie, I usually don't like to write things down. Like, I know, like, you take notes on a napkin and stuff like that. I really don't. But as I'm watching this movie, like, I keep saying things in my head, like, well, why is he doing that? What's that? That thing is stupid. What the hell's going on? Like, so many things started coming out. I was like, I would never remember all of these complaints to sit down if I was talking to you guys. Like, it was too many. It was like they're coming at me like every 30 seconds. There was some sort of like problem that I was having. I just, this is only like a little bit of what I have. I could read these off. I could just start going down the list and maybe like.
I say go for it. I say, and I'll say what, T, if you want to, whenever you want to pop in with a agree disagree comment. I'm just gonna let Warren
At
do
some
his
point,
thing.
I may not even remember what all this stuff is. First thing I wrote down was overly elaborate door trap. Like, what was that? Guy walks up to the door, let me out, and he has to like cut a thing, and then something came down. It was like this Rube Goldberg type. Like, somebody would have to be right there. Like, how do they design a door? Like, you know what? To kill somebody, we want them to go to that particular door. They have to stand there and not move. Wait for me to cut this rope, and then the spikes will come down. I was like, oh my god, we're in for a ride. This was the cold open, essentially.
Yeah, no, it was within it was in the first 3 minutes of the movie. It's that definite.
The movie just it feels, even when at the beginning, it feels like we just walked into a movie that was already in progress.
Okay, my next thing I wrote down was started in the middle. That's what my next line is.
Hey, they're here, they're watching us. Hey, let's start.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, we've already had a whole movie. Like, how did they meet up? Why is she? What's going on? What are they doing? Like, we're not introduced to these characters at all. They just sort of show up and they're doing stuff.
Yeah, but of course it's the world famous Alan Quartermaine. Everyone knows who he is. That was born
I guess
before 1920.
Yeah. Now, actually, here's a quick question: did anybody here know who Alan Quartermaine was before this movie? Because it was 1985, so I would have been 13 at the time. And of course, Alan Quartermaine, and really, I don't know if I would have known Alan Quartermaine other than this movie, and if it hadn't been for Alan Moore and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, you know.
Yeah,
so
I got it confused with Quartermass, and I got excited.
Right.
When I was a kid, I got it confused with the Quartermass, Dr. Quartermass.
Oh, Quartermass, yeah, right. Yeah.
No, I had no idea. I mean, I probably didn't. You know, I probably had no idea who this guy was. You know, when I was 13 years old.
Fair enough. Okay, so continue.
And there was a bunch of other stuff happened. I think I wrote this down out of order, but the chains that the guy in the shop put on her, I was like, wait, what? And then he easily takes them off of her. Like, like there was no lock, no anything. Like, it was just kind of decorative. chains that was supposed to like keep her, and for no reason. It was like, showing the gun and then never using the gun type of thing. It was like, what's the point of that? Like, that was a completely pointless thing. I have a list of Raiders ripoffs. I just have a few that I probably missed some. Marketplace chase, under the train and then being dragged by the train, fist fighting an extra strong German guy, German airfield where you steal a plane, trapped in a room with spikes coming down, it's slowly coming down. I think that's all I caught. So anyway, there's got to be more. There's way more Raiders of the Lost Ark ripoffs, but I just wrote this note: Sharon Stone, OMG. Her acting was brutal. Like, I can't believe that nobody on the set or the director or anybody said anything to her or fired her or did anything like that. Although at some points I thought the whole movie reminded me of like an Abbott and Costello movie, Abbott and Costello versus the Mummy or something like that. It felt like it tried to be action-packed, but then people would like vocalize their like, "Oh my God," like kind of weird stuff like that. So I don't know if maybe that's what they're going for and just missed completely. I also jotted down, nobody's ever heard of stunts or being able to throw a punch or special effects, because every punch was like this, and that bothered me to no end. Also, I wrote down racist, because this movie was completely racist in really every sense of the word, where they used all sorts of Arabic slurs for, like, Middle Eastern people. All the black people were, like, everything about them felt like it was just racist to black people. I just couldn't believe. I was like, 1985, come on. I would hope we were a little bit better than that in 1985, but it was kind of brutal. I wrote down exposition story driven. They moved from one scene to the next because of exposition and not because of any natural.
There's nothing organic. Yeah, it's
nothing organic. It seemed like they all just kind of happened to know where to go. One scene ended with, "I can't leave my father," and as she's throwing her in the truck, and like, "We have to go." And then the next scene starts with her sleeping, and he can't wake her up. Like, she's like, "Oh, I'm okay. I just want to sleep in." Like, what happened? What's the guy's name? Mabopo? Their guide Mabopo wouldn't get in the car the whole time. The second they jump on the train, he's like, "Boom, I'll jump on the train." Yeah, no problem. Even when he closed his eyes, but he got on the train, no problem.
He grasped train travel. It was cars that he had issues with.
I guess so, but trains don't eat grass.
No.
He didn't trust anything that he could. The train guards were not so good at guarding. Like everybody just kind of crawled under that car, and they never noticed like the fight going on. They just kind of sat there, and she was able to walk through them. It was just like, that's what the train guard did. So there was a line that Alan Quartermaine said that said, "I don't believe this," and I wrote that down because I was thinking the same thing. Alan Quartermaine's dance on top of the train when the guy was shooting through the ceiling. He kind of does like a little dance moves. Like,
he does a jig. Yeah, he's got his shtick. Yeah.
Now, my favorite part of the movie was when the German was left to kill the professor, and
this is my favorite line in the movie.
This is the best line in the movie where he goes, "I find you most attractive," and she says, "You're a swine," and he says, "I'm not talking to you."
Yeah, it's the best reading.
It was like this weird kind of homoerotic thing going on. Like, what? Where did that come from?
But then he's still going to rape her just because.
Yeah, just because it's 1985 and they can't have guy-on-guy rape at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you're Richard Crenna.
I guess so. Yeah. The plane is crashing. First of all, she's flying blind, and we have the guy in the other German plane talking. "Oh, you're going to crash in? I've never given up on a game of chicken. Oh, you are very brave." Like, who's he talking to? Oh, that killed me. And then they're like, "Quick, let's jump from the plane. It's our only chance." Like, why are you jumping from a plane? It's like, I don't know. That killed me too. Oversized pot to cook them in.
Brilliant pot. Love that pot. Love the giant plastic pot. It was not even is it the oversized pot, but it's like when they fall in, you've got the floating carrots and tomatoes.
Yeah, well, I didn't know there was tomatoes in Africa because there was huge tomatoes all over the place. So I thought that was kind of fun. Plus, I thought it's going to take.
It was the Italian part of
That's right. Yes, what Marco Polo had to like venture to Africa later on and brought it to
the Quartermaine al dente.
And it's going to take forever to cook them. Like they're just going to like all of a sudden be cooked. It was going to take like in that much water with that much fire. It would have taken a day to cook them.
Yeah, it was going to take a while because apparently it wasn't that hot either when they fell into the pot.
I know, right? Like it just started.
But and it was a total. But okay, keep on going.
Yeah, it's gonna take forever. That escape with the pot rolling away and all that stuff, that would have killed them. That would have killed them. That thing was going so fast, and if they're inside, like it was cruising on the outside, and on the inside they're like, oh no, that would have crushed them. They would have been dead. End of movie. Just happened to land by some lions. So what do you do when you see a lion inside, trapped you? You start making out, right? They start making out in the soup water. Yeah, I thought that was pretty.
That lion was high. Did you see its eyes? It was weird.
That lion was fucking drugged beyond.
But you could see. Yeah. There was a part you could see the stick from the trainer kind of pop in, like for.
Oh, nice! I missed that. That's pretty good.
I was like, really? The guy's right there. That lion doesn't look like he's gonna do anything. Upside down people. The upside down people, black people hanging in trees upside down. I was like, what are they saying here? Come on, this is kind of, first of all, it's stupid. That would kill them being hanging upside down. Second of all, it's stupid. It's just stupid. They handed her some grapes in the middle of the jungle in Africa.
That was pretty bizarre.
I don't think grapes grow in Africa or in the middle of the jungle. I also wrote down so many green screen shots. They used a lot of green screen in this movie.
There was a lot. Well, actually, then it was blue. So yeah, it was. But there was a lot of There was a lot of background plates and stuff like that in unnecessary places at times too. Yeah. It was like there was one with John Rice Davies.
Exactly. That's where I think I wrote it down.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where it's like they need a pickup shot or something. Exactly. Like they realized, we need to connect these scenes somehow. So they had him. They threw him in front of the green screen to say something, and they had Herbert Long probably from a scene that had nothing to do with it reacting.
Right. That's what I was like. Okay, he's clearly not there. They shot that somewhere else. They couldn't shoot it on location for whatever reason.
But also we need to remember. I think location is probably Palm Springs.
Yeah. No. For sure. It's still crazy. Yeah, because it didn't look like Africa at all. Like
we're in Echo Park for some shots. It was pretty.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. When she was begging for his life with the crazy old lady when they were captured and he was being hung by the alligators, and I was like, the way she was begging and her begging made me want to kill him. That was horrible. It was horrible begging. Why did the king Mabolo or whatever their friend why did he speak English to his people all of a sudden and like telling them I am your true king? It's like, well, they don't speak English. I don't know. I thought that was dumb. All the traps in this whole movie were overly elaborate or conveniently located.
Yeah, that was needlessly complex.
Yeah, don't stand on that square, or don't go over there. Walk this way. It was just like kind of conveniently there to stop a bad guy or be a scene. It was horrible. It was terrible. Who were those women that were in the cave? Sheba, I guess. I wrote down "ha" in big letters, and I wrote "big spider," perfect spider web that he backed into.
Yeah, the giant stuffed spider is a pretty brilliant creature.
Yeah, and the rope spider web that he wove somehow. Yeah. When they were trapped in the cave, all the light from under the water that lit the scene was. I mean, I guess that could be Jules. Okay, I'll take that.
You know what? I'm getting excited because you're coming to the point where I woke up.
So I can tell you what happened. I wrote this one.
I'm glad I'm catching up.
I wrote physics for some reason because I guess after a while, like I discovered that physics in this movie just kind of didn't exist. And
no.
Like when he shot, like early on in the movie, she picked up the gun and he shot out of her hand, and it somehow flew forward into his hand. Remember, in the marketplace,
Yep.
in the marketplace.
Yep.
Yes, and there was lots of stuff like that. I think because I wrote it because my next line says "ceiling is gone." Because when the ceiling blew up, all of a sudden they stood up and everything was it was gone. Like first they were trapped under the ceiling, the door exploded, and now the ceiling was completely gone in that room, and they were able to stand up. It was all weird. And then when Sala came, his name's not Sala, it was Raiders of the Lost Ark. He was Sala. John Rhys Davies.
Yeah. John Rhys Davies.
Showed his. I wrote down Mithril because he was saved by the Mithril, which I thought was a good, since he's a dwarf, he would be making Mithril. The dragon head in the water. Seriously, come on.
What was the dragon? Sorry, I don't remember the dragon head in the water.
Remember when he stepped on the stone when the Germans stepped on the red stone?
Oh, right.
And then like the dragon head came out like this a couple times, and then went back in the water after eating him. It was like a paper mache dragon head. It was like literally a paper mache dragon.
It wasn't it a hippo? I thought it was a giant hippopotamus.
I thought it was a dragon head. It was just a head of some sort. Like I just assumed it was a dragon.
Oh, interesting. To me it looked like a gigantic, weird man-eating hippo. So
I don't think we should even argue about it. It is whatever you interpret it to be, I guess.
To be, right? Yeah.
I like his fireproof wood pole that he used to, jump over the lava with. At the end, like he had that flaming pole, he stuck it in the lava that seemed to burn everything instantly, except for that pole. And then I liked how the alligator pit was now full of flowers as they had come back to the village.
Oh, right.
That was good. And then I loved at the end when they kind of walk out of the gates of the town and everybody in the town is dancing like idiots, like kind of in the background. And then they show the diamonds they weren't supposed to have. They're like holding them up so everybody can see them. I was like, why are you showing us in front of the town? Anyway, those are just things that were killing me.
Anyway, so overall, you didn't like this movie.
I can't even pretend to like this movie. Not even a little bit.
So okay, T, let's hear what you got. So did you pass out through most of it?
My attention kind of drifted from here and there. Most of the time, whenever there was music, I was kind of I'll just stare at my iPad for a while. It's
you're off in the middle distance.
So, I don't know if it was before the show or earlier, but you said something about how this is like a perfect MST3 Mystery Science Theater type film you sit around with guys and just laugh at. On that level, I kind of, if there was another person in the room or another two persons in the room, would have enjoyed it more. It felt more like a chore to see it, but in the end, I think I appreciate it because it is one of the earliest examples of the Asylum way to their film.
That's funny, actually. You kind of hit the nail on the head. Yeah. Uh-oh, did I lose you? No, there you go. Okay. Yeah, I got to tell you, I agree with everything that both of you have said. I don't like this movie either, but I will defend it in this way, in that I think it knows exactly what it's doing all the way through. It knows how stupid it is, and it knows how ridiculous it is. In the way that, like right off the bat, when the opening scene, you've got the trap over the door that spears the guy, right? And I'm like, really? And then the next line is the guy who runs the store, who must know about the trap because it's there. His only response to what just happened is my door. And right off the bat, I'm like, okay, this movie is telling us that it's not taking any of this shit seriously. It is, and that's exactly to me what it's weird because it's like it cuts us off before we can make fun of it because it's making fun of itself all the way through. It's like the giant pot. That's not there to be serious stuff. That's all there to be a joke and something to laugh at.
You know what I really enjoyed? One of the highlights is John Rhys Davies and Herbert Lehman. How fucking comedically evil they were. They were
great over the top.
Those guys, and then just to walk over the quicksand. I thought that was that's a little dark. It's hilarious, but it's dark.
Yeah, they did. There's some bizarre macabre humor going on with that thing. They've got the weird Wagner joke playing out through most of it. But yeah, they're kind of the wacky. They're the wacky bad guys. I mean, the whole thing is just—it's like so. The scene that really sealed it for me is the weird gay German guard who says, "I'm not talking to you," and or whatever that line was. I wasn't speaking to you. When we actually discover he's gay, quote unquote. But then Quartermaine blows him away in the balls under the train, and he flies up to the ceiling. Really fucked up, and it's stuff like that is hysterical. And it's like every time, like I said, like the giant pot thing really seals the deal of they're just having a fucking laugh. This is Canon Films, and Canon Films very much in a weird way kind of you could look at as the pre-Asylum Asylum. You know, I mean they made the Chuck Norris movies, they made the Van Damme movies, and for all the people who think those are good movies, they're not. I mean, they're, you know, we can have our fun with them or whatever the hell else they are. They were simply exploiting a popular genre at the time, which was the Indiana Jones movies. It came out a year after Temple of Doom. And it lifted, like I said, the spikes stuff and stuff like that was lifted directly from Temple of Doom. There was one scene. You can tell there's no money put into this sucker. It's like it's all backlot sets. It's all there. Maybe the closest location they got is maybe like a sand pit in the San Diego Zoo for the lions. I even wondered like if they'd gone anywhere for that. The movie doesn't say where the film was shot, unfortunately.
I think it was shot in South Africa.
Was it really? They actually did go on location and shoot it?
I think I recall that they shot both of them back to back.
Okay, and that was the other thing that I was wondering if they shot them back to back or not.
They did.
That's what I recall.
And you know, the reason I know that is because I probably saw these movies when they came out. The only reason I know that is because somewhere in my mental hard drive there is a memory of watching Entertainment Tonight, where they did a piece on this. Yes. It was like the first time that anybody's ever really shot movies back to back. And I remember seeing like the making of the pot, you know, the giant pot scene and stuff like that. Right. So that's like I don't have a memory of the movie. I have a memory of Entertainment Tonight.
So they beat Back to the Future 2 and 3 to the punch, basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they destroyed apartheid while they were there.
Yes, that's. I believe actually this movie's what helped get Mandela out of prison. Nobody knows that.
I don't want to see this shit anymore. I'm out of here.
It was a key factor.
It was Sharon Stone. Let him go. Please let him go.
Stone is horrible, but she's purposely being horrible. I mean, nothing she's doing isn't bad acting out of being a talentless fool, which you can see a lot of in movies, especially Asylum films. I mean, everything she's doing is kind of over the top bullshit, but it's everything to me. Nothing about that movie didn't feel purposeful to me. It's like all the stupid stuff. I knew it was stupid, and it's like it kind of, for me, it felt like it was doing. This is actually, and it kind of links back to our Sky Captain: The World of Tomorrow thing. It's like for Raiders of the Lost Ark, for the Indiana Jones series, Spielberg and Lucas took their love of serials and updated it. They pulled the things they liked from it and created a new character. And from that, they actually created a character with a moral code, which is funny because Alan Quartermaine, and that was the one thing that I kept noticing that I really disliked, is that Alan Quartermaine has no moral code. It's not about finding King Solomon's mines to stop a curse, to save a village, to protect somebody. It's to get to the gold just as much as they are. But then he has the weird turn at the end where it's like, we must respect it, right? So he has no. He's just an adventurer for adventure's sake, and he's just out there doing his thing. There's one bit. And this is where you can really see its budgetary limitations. I mean, it's got budgetary limitations all the way through it. But one place where you can really see where they tried to do something fun was in the they're making an escape, and this is through the village sequence, through the market sequence. They're making their escape in the car. He jumps out of the car, runs through this backside area, frees slaves, does some other stuff, and then runs out the other side to catch up where the car is now pulled around the corner and hops back in. So it's supposed to look like this really kind of fluid single moment, a real-time moment where he's doing something while the car is driving around, and he knows exactly where the car is going to be by the time he finishes these little kind of side quests. It doesn't work. It doesn't pull itself off properly. I liked the dragging actually behind the train. I thought that was actually an impressive-looking little bit. Because you see Richard Chamberlain's face. I mean, you see him there, and it looks like he's moving pretty fucking fast. I mean, it looks like
screen for a lot of
it. You can see the linoleum that.
Yeah, the linoleum tracks.
Tracks. Yeah. It's but it's
pretty cool actually.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like
I thought that was pretty smart. I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty smart thing.
It's kind of
like an illusion.
Yeah, it's kind of like the kids that remade Raiders of the Lost Ark shot by shot over the years. It's like they tried doing that a year later with a budget, and it was Golem Globus that was doing it. It's not, and like I said, like the spite, you know, it's like they don't try to hide how fake everything is. I mean, the spider is beyond ridiculous. You know, it looks like a giant thing that they could have bought at KB Toy Store or FAO Schwartz Halloween sale. And it's you know, there's nothing about it that you can take seriously. So I don't know, so like on an MST3K level, it's like I don't know if you can make fun of it, because I mean you can laugh at it and go it's ridiculously stupid, but it's not as if it isn't already in on the joke and making fun of itself. There's nothing sincere about the movie at all. You know,
That's
I mean
true,
it's nothing. Yeah. It's nothing but, you know, it's nothing but a lark, and it doesn't try to be anything else other than you know, an exploitation riff on the Indiana Jones movies. And they tried to, and I think it's interesting, the racist stuff I could not agree with you more about, but also it's like, I don't know how close to the Alan Quartermaine books they stuck to on one of these things. Like if they just
I thought about that
book,
too. I kind of thought like, well, maybe those things are inherently racist.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, it's like it also started me thinking, it's like, okay, so are the Jovitos at the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark, how culturally insensitive is that? Right? It's like how it's that all of a sudden you're kind of saying, okay, Alan Quartermaine's doing this things where it's like you've got the villagers that are eating people and doing this whole bit, but it's like, isn't Raiders of the Lost Ark doing kind of
not just having indigenous people. I mean, you know, they're in the middle of Brazil and there's an indigenous people. I mean, if anything, those indigenous people, like, that was their place, and everybody's scared of them and running away. I'm talking about more of like, you know, everybody, like all the villagers in this movie were played as fools, and all the Middle Eastern people were like, you know, they said camel jockey and towelhead. I mean,
what cracked me up about the towelhead one was that it was a British dude playing an Arab.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, oh no, it's and there's some racist comments like that, but it also makes me wonder like how, I mean, in Raiders of the Lost Ark, those villagers, those warriors are also being played as fools. Those are guys that have been convinced to play by fools by the British guy. Exactly, yeah. So it's like, so there's still that it's an interesting line that's being walked in both movies in a weird way. But Alan Quartermaine, again, being, I don't know how much of it takes off of those old adventures, you know, and it's how, when doing something like that, especially if, I don't like, it's weird, it's like if this movie was made in the 1950s, we would totally accept it, right? We'd be completely fine with it. Because for some reason we're saying, well, people weren't as bright back then, or culturally sensitive, or understanding this stuff like that. In 1985, they should be. But also, again, they weren't trying to be malicious per se. They weren't saying these people are idiots as much, because they've got their sidekick guy who ends up being the actual king. You've got, you know, it's like they kind of set certain things off balance. But again, it's not progressive. It's not politically, you know, it's not politically correct. There's a lot of things wrong with it. I don't, you know, again, I don't know, but I'm not going to defend anybody who, you know, I'm not going to defend the film against anybody who wants to define it as a racist film. But but going back to the whole serial thing, is that where Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of picked the best parts to create the serial, you know, from the serials. This took, like with Sky Captain the World Tomorrow, just took the other stuff, took the stuff they thought it was supposed to be and put it out there, and it's not. And this is probably much closer to what the old, you know, Flash Gordon-esque type adventure serials and stuff like that were back then. Is much more like an Alan Quartermaine film than it was like a Raiders of the Lost Ark, I would say. So yeah, so again, I don't think it's a fantastic movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it's like, I mean, I find it tough to hate something that knows that it's bad or kind of ditzy and stupid from the get-go and is trying to have a sense of humor about itself all the way through. So, if that makes sense, is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I still don't think it worked for me. none of it's still bad. Like, you know, I think, I know what you're saying.
It's stupid.
I did know it didn't take itself as seriously, but it didn't feel like it was supposed to be a spoof or something. I guess
all I know is that City of Gold is in the queue.
That's right. What? So you've got the second one queued up and ready to go.
I just have to sit through it.
You have to know what happens. There's a lot of unanswered questions.
How does this end?
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, it's, you know, and again, it's, I almost in a weird way, I would say, you know, I don't know if you could apply it to the weird airplane mold in a kind of way, because it doesn't go that far, but it really gets close. I mean, it gets close, really fucking super close. And again, the giant pot is the real, that to me is like, that's the cornerstone of this, you know, that's the Rosetta Stone of this entire of this entire argument if this movie's taking itself seriously or not, because I think when you get to that point, even in 1985, people are going to look at that and going, this is just fucking ridiculous. We know what we're in now as soon as you see giant pot
You
with
know
carrots
what?
in it.
Even if Richard Chamberlain hated doing this and it was an absolute nightmare for him, he's got a lot of charm, and it seems like he's effortlessly, doing the job.
Yeah.
So and he's not that bad. And I was kind of disappointed he didn't do much else.
I gotta say, I think everybody to me seemed like they were having fun. I mean, however much of a nightmare it probably was to make or whatever, at least on screen, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't feel like they're getting too stressed out or taking anything too seriously while they're acting. And there's kind of a definite, lackadaisical attitude about the whole thing that makes it a little more entertaining. Yeah. Was this the last movie he was in? Was this the last thing he did?
I don't think so.
No, he was in. I saw on the IMDb thing. He was in some.
Horrible kisser. He looks like a horrible kisser, but he was kissing a woman, so that could be part of it. But he kept when they start making out, it's like she's sucking on his chin or something. Like there's something really funky about the kiss.
Well, he's like, stay away from the beard.
That doesn't play out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really, really odd. It's a lousy movie. I mean, I couldn't recommend it to anybody unless, like you said, I think it's got the let's sit around, have a few beers, and laugh at something kind of scenario.
Oh yeah, no, I think if we were all like in the same room and we were getting drunk and we'd be laughing like for days.
Mm-hmm.
He went back to TV after that. He did a lot of TV movies.
Did he?
Yeah, lots of TV movies.
Yeah, this soured him on the big screen. But yeah, it's I love Herbert Lom's mustache. I think his mustache is pretty fantastic. I think him and the John Rhys Davies scenes, all of that stuff I thought was gold, because those guys seem to be just entertaining each other left and right with their bizarre antics.
Yeah, I mean they're vamping it up. They know their roles, and then they're just
I guess
brawling it out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that stuff might have been the best part of it. They're back and forth, but a lot of it was, I saw everything coming like a mile away. Like I knew all the jokes and I guess if it was going to go in that kind of spoofy direction, it's like you said, they didn't go far enough. Like if they had gone farther, I would have enjoyed it more.
Right.
Like I said, I knew all the jokes. Like I wasn't really surprised by any of the jokes except for the one. I wasn't talking to you like that. Yeah. Like I laughed out loud because I was like, "Oh, what?" I was like, "Where did that come from?"
That's the fun. That's the best joke and the best line delivery in that entire film, because that guy committed to that fucking line reading. He is so angry and just delivers it with such spite that it's, and not only that, but then he goes all the way. Like that's the one moment where I was actually kind of nervously, awkwardly scared, because I'm like, it's like he's starting this with a gag, but this instantly escalates into like, oh shit, he's about to rape her, and I'm kind of weirdly freaked out by this moment. And
are they going to do it on a blue screen? Like, what? How's that going to work?
Yeah, it's like I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be offended, but they weren't making fun of the rape. You know what I mean? It's like it shifted on a fucking dime from this great gag into, oh, by the way, I'm gonna have to just rape you because. And you're like,
really? You never go anal rape. You never go full anal rape.
Never go full rape. Never go full rape. But yeah, it's just it turns on a dime and it feels like they must have felt like they had to do that, because when Quartermaine shoots him in the nuts, I mean, and the worst part is it's a non-bloody shooting, but it is clearly gun, nuts, him flying to the top of the...
It's like 30 seconds of setup. It's like angles and shots and like the gun tilting and...
completely. Yeah, it's like they like Sergio Leone the tension on this thing, or try to. I mean, unsuccessfully.
I think they had to make him go dark to justify the shot in the nuts, so that everybody's like, yeah, he's got
exactly, completely. Yeah.
Because you can't deliver a hilarious line and then get shot in the nuts. Like everybody's like, oh, come on, he was funny, Yeah,
they shot, and it's like you can't shoot the gay guy in the nuts.
Yeah.
So you gotta have him. So you gotta have him raping the woman. It's so surreal. That entire bit is so surreal. But it's awkwardly enough the best scene in the film.
It's the best scene in the movie.
It's the best scene in the movie. It's just off the fucking hook, that moment.
Yeah, it was.
There's some other highlights where there was a couple of stunts that kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah.
The train stunt with the Rock and him getting out of the way.
Yeah.
That was an actual guy.
Yeah, that was pretty close.
You know? And then there was another one where they're escaping the cave. The stuntman just rolls that steep rock.
Mm-hmm.
At least it looks like 20 feet.
Right.
You know, and he almost effortlessly does it, and that was pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. Yeah, it's and it's when the era of the stuntman was in full force, man. That was they could do some they did a lot of fun stuff.
Picking up the flies right now.
There was a weird scene, and I remember it reminded me of, in the beginning of the marketplace scene where he's up on the roof where he's looking for her, which is a rip off of Raiders of the Lost Ark in the carpet, and he's like on top of the roof and he steps. At first I thought he's climbing up this wall to get on the stage, but I realized he's stepping on a guy who's sitting there. There's like a guy, if he steps on his shoulders and then hoists himself up, and the guy's like, what? But like it took a second, like you almost don't see it, and it almost feels like, well, why is that even? It seems like a weird thing that could just like kind of disappear if you don't notice it, because the guy's kind of, his clothes kind of look like the wall, and he kind of looks like any of the like overhangs and stuff there. Like he kind of blends in, like maybe he needed a guy there to help him up. Like that's kind of what I thought. Like maybe Richard Cameron kind of like push him up.
Right.
No, it was a patent J. Lee Thompson sight gag.
That's right. that was the J. Lee delivering us what he always gives us. Yeah.
Man, that guy, he knows what.
First time from Laugh Alone.
Yeah, pure J. Lee. Yeah, so J. Lee Thompson, evidently, I mean, this had to have been close to one of his last movies. I'm not sure where this falls on his resume. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, the guy, Journeyman, had an interesting career. Like I said, I think I mentioned last week, he gave us the original Cape Fear. He gave us the last two Planet of the Apes movies. He's got an interesting, series of stuff. The adventure film Guns of Navarone, I believe, was his. So the guy had an interesting career. He must have been 70s by the time he made this sucker, in the 70s at least. Definitely worked for hire, worked cheap. I'm sure he had no money to make this film with. He had no control whatsoever, I'm sure, as well. It was just, shoot it and get on with your life, what's left of it. And what a way to go out, J. Lee, thanks. And the weird thing is he didn't direct the second movie either. Somebody else did. So I don't know how that worked out, if that guy was like prepping scenes on the side or just getting ready to move over to the next film. And they took 2 years between to put them out. I'm not sure how that worked either. But who knows? What's that?
So did you see the first one? Maybe they're just like, oh, geez, we need people to forget about the first one.
The first one before, yeah, maybe so, yeah.
There was a direct video thing called Alan Quartermaine and the Temple of Skulls.
Was that?
I don't think it has anything to do with the canon films.
Is that the Patrick Swayze one?
Let's see here.
No, there's a King Solomon's Mines. Yeah, there was a King Solomon's Mines with Patrick Swayze that was made as well. Apparently, Alan Quartermaine is the John Carter of adventure movies, of adventure movie characters. They'll never be able to bring him to the screen properly because he's been his character. I mean, I guess I don't know how old the character is. I'm guessing he has to be around the same age as Tarzan and stuff like that, if not slightly older, maybe. But yeah, he's one of those characters who's probably been pillaged for so many different characters in other movies that there's no way you can go back, make an Alan Quartermaine movie, and expect people to not think that it's completely and utterly derivative. Because I'd be really fascinated. Sorry, go ahead.
City of Gold was directed by a guy named Gary Nelson, who's done mostly TV.
Okay, Charles Nelson
Riley.
Oh, he directed Nighthawks.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Nighthawks. There you go. I'm sorry. Why is he credited with that? He's got a director credit. Oh, he's uncredited. I guess he did a few scenes.
Gotcha. He did. He probably did. He shot some of the B stuff.
Nighthawks is a movie we need to revisit.
Nighthawks, I would really enjoy rewatching Nighthawks. Actually, I haven't seen that one in a while.
Sorry.
So yeah, is there anything else interesting that we can possibly say about this? I guess there's not. That sounds like a no.
We've
Sharon
probably
Stone's
given
hand.
this movie a larger discussion than it got all of 1985 combined.
Oh, I think. Oh, I'm sure it's gotten more discussion in the history of the movie. We've probably talked about it more, except for maybe like a. Nah, I don't even. I bet you $10 as the canon documentary even kind of bowls over this one. I do think they reused some sets for it from it for another canon movie, Firewalker, with Chuck Norris and Dustin Jr. I'm dollars for donuts, man. I'm pretty positive they reused some sets, which wouldn't shock me too much.
They have a similar look to them.
Yeah, they really did. They're very much in that same adventure vein, and I don't know why. I was trying to think of when Firewalker came out, like 87, 88, something like that. So I don't know what.
90s.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think it was earlier than that because I feel like I watched it around the same time as that movie, Crocodile Dundee.
Oh,
I feel
86, yeah, 86.
Around the 86,
Firewalker
around the same
1986.
J. Lee Thompson.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Firewalker?
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if he shot Firewalker like so. He does King Solomon's Mines, moves directly to Firewalker, utilizing some of the same locations and sets, while some other guy shoots the second Alan Quartermaine at the same time. Because you've got 85, 86, and 87 is the release on those.
He did the fourth Death Wish.
What's that?
He did the fourth Death Wish.
Really? Oh,
He did Kinjite.
So basically he became a canon. He was a canon director for his last years. Interesting.
Their go-to guy.
Yeah. Why go less when you can go Thompson? There's no joke there whatsoever. There's no joke there whatsoever.
Wow, that could be in King Solomon's Mines.
Yeah,
the J is for just in case.
Just in case, yeah. That's.
We can't get this guy. Just in case, we'll get J. Lee Thompson.
Just in case, we'll get Lee Thompson.
I'm ready to do it, boss. Just give me the go-ahead.
Just give me the go-ahead, Ma. I'm ready. So I think we'll probably all kind of standard agree on this one that it's a movie only for group sessions of guys sitting around getting drunk who want to have a laugh at something, and you don't have to feel bad about it because they're laughing right along with you. Would be my theory on this one. So really quick before we actually move to the last thing, unless anybody else, Warren, you got any final words you want to say about the movie?
No, I'm good.
Nope. Okay.
Done.
Nope.
I will never speak of it again, probably.
Right. So when that's interesting. I wish Dub had watched it all the way through and had been here to see what he had done to us. Really quickly here, let me go to this. I want to share with everybody. Oops. Let's see if I can make this bigger. We got ourselves, yes, ladies and gentlemen, just to show that we care about our audience. Somebody commented on one of our videos 15 hours ago. This was about our Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow review. So read along with me. Magnolia 296, 15 hours ago, quoted, "Very unique movie. Jude Law and Gwyneth Paltrow did a brilliant job. Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow is one of the most underrated and overlooked sci-fi films of the 2000s. Next to, here's my favorite part, Mission to Mars, Supernova, The Cell, Pandorum, Serenity, Cargo, Sunshine, Eagle Eye, The Sixth Day, Equilibrium, X-Changer, Gamer, Ultraviolet, Push, Signs, The Chronicles of Riddick, Hulk, Evolution, Star Trek Nemesis, Star Force, The Box, The Day After Tomorrow, Sound of Thunder, Doom, Jurassic Park 3, Children of Men, Cypher, Resident Evil Apocalypse, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Death Race, Hollow Man, The Fourth Kind, Avatar, 2004, and The Forgotten." I added that is not a direct quote. Also, if you can tell, Magnolia 296 is probably a nice young man out there who likes hot women as his avatars. Magnolia 296, I am mildly impressed that you were able to list all those movies if you did that out of your head. I am incredibly impressed if you decided to do the research to figure out what movies to put on there. And that's a bizarre list of underrated and overlooked sci-fi films from the 2000s. I don't know how many of those I would agree with.
I think I agree with 4.
Let's see. Let's go through them really quick here. Actually, okay. So, Mission to Mars, yay or nay?
Nay.
Okay, I'll give it a mild yay, but that's only because I'm a Brian De Palma apologist. Supernova.
Yeah.
I gotta see it again, only because I heard Walter Hill did a first draft on it or worked on it or something.
Walter Hill directed it, then
okay.
was cut from it, and then they gave it it's an Alan J. Smithy, and then Coppola did an edit on it, a re-edit. So it's got a lot of.
I'd like to see it again.
Yeah, I might have to see that again.
Yeah, it's awful. It's got a lot of It's The Cell, yays or nays?
Yay.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's sort of like a kind of yay. The Cell.
Okay. Sorry, Pandorum.
I don't remember Pandorum.
That was the
nay.
Dennis Quaid one where you find out. Oh, spoiler alert! They've been underwater the whole time. Serenity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cargo. I don't know. I don't know Cargo.
know Cargo.
That's exciting. I have to look up Cargo.
Maybe you meant Fargo.
Maybe so. Sunshine.
Yes.
Sunshine gets a yay for me.
Sunshine's pretty. Yeah, Sunshine's pretty good.
Eagle Eye is going to get a nay from me.
Ooh.
6 Days is getting a nay from me.
It's getting a
You know
fat
what?
nay.
The 6th Day was the last Laserdisc ever pressed.
Was it really?
Yeah, and it's highly sought after right now.
Still
Is
get a
it?
nay.
Oh, that's pretty good. Equilibrium.
Yay.
I'm giving Equilibrium a almost yay.
I give it a yay. I like that
Oh,
movie.
did you? Yeah. Exchange. No idea what
Never
that
saw
is. Gamer. I'm going to have to give a yay.
Yay.
Yeah, it gets a medium.
Yeah, Gamer was a surprise movie to me. Ultraviolet. I'm going to give a nay.
I haven't seen it.
Ultraviolet gets a big nay. Big
Yeah.
fat nay.
Push. I'm giving a nay.
Nay.
Yeah. Well, Push gets an eh.
Yeah, Signs. I'm giving a nay. I know it's liked
That's
by a
like
lot of
a
people.
10,000 horsepower nay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a nuclear nay.
The Chronicles of Riddick.
I give it a yay.
Half nay.
I'm gonna give it a half. Yeah.
I like it. It was like 3 movies in one.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I have to admit, I do enjoy Chronicles of Riddick. Okay, I'm going yay on it.
He
Hulk.
convinced you with just one sentence.
Yep, you did it. Good job. Hulk. I'm giving a yay.
Nay.
Yeah, that Hulk. I like that yay. I mean, I give it a nay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm going full yay on that thing. Evolution. Not good.
Never
Yeah,
seen
no.
it.
Star Trek Nemesis. Really? Really,
No.
Mongolian?
Nay.
Star Force. I don't know. Anybody?
I don't know.
Star Force is.
Okay. The Box is completely banal.
Didn't see it.
That was the one where you open a box and somebody dies or something.
It was Richard. Yeah, it was what's his face?
I never saw it.
Donnie Darko guy.
Yeah, I never saw it.
Yeah. Day After Tomorrow gets the nay.
Nay.
That is stupid fun, but it gets a half-hearted nay.
See, I'll tell you what. If Day After Tomorrow was, sorry, I'm going to cut away from this. If Day After Tomorrow, what happened to me? There I am. If Day After Tomorrow was meant to be dumb the same way that what do you call it was? The movie we just talked about that I can no longer remember the title to, King Solomon's Mines, it would get points for me. But it doesn't. Sound of Thunder, I never saw.
I never saw it.
It's okay.
Is it?
It's a good background noise movie.
Right. Doom?
Nay.
No.
Doom
Yeah.
Doom is a nay except for like the 3 minutes where they actually had Doom vision
first
and he's
person,
running
right.
around killing. Like that part, I was like, why couldn't the whole movie or most of the movie or more of that? Like every time they battled that, because that's what you wanted, right? When you went to go see Doom the movie, like the game experience that you had.
It's true.
So,
It's very, very
so
true.
3 minutes is a yay, and then like the rest of it is a nay.
Right. Let's see. After Doom, sorry, we have Jurassic Park 3, which I'm going to give a nay.
Yeah,
Half yay.
Half yay? All right.
Yeah, half yay. I give it half yay. It had some fun stuff.
Yeah, I think the one now, of course, that we can all agree with, Children of Men, I think we
Oh, yeah,
all give a
total.
yay to. Yeah. Though I don't know if that's underrated or not.
I don't think that's wasn't it
I don't think
nominated
it's
for some
underrated.
Academy Awards and stuff like that? I mean,
It might have had a couple things, technical stuff and things like
Yeah.
that, but I think it was mostly overlooked. But its reputation has far outlasted
I think it's great.
any
Like,
of these
I love
other
that.
films for the most part.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. Cypher. Anybody? I feel like I've seen
Never
it.
heard of it.
I think is that a Lucy Liu movie? I feel like I've seen
Oh,
it.
is that with Lucy Liu? No, was that Lucy Liu and what's Antonio Banderas?
No. You're thinking of X versus Sever or whatever.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's Shu's favorite movie.
Oh no.
And then no, it's not. And then no. Cypher was by the guy that did Vincenzo Natali. Is that his name? I feel like it was a Vincenzo Natali flick.
Yeah.
who did Splice and Cube.
Oh.
Resident Evil Apocalypse. I couldn't tell you the difference between any of them past the first one.
I sort of give the Resident Evil movies sort of a, I can sit there and watch them because they're kind of stupid.
Mm-hmm.
They're to me they're sort of stupid fun, in some ways. So if that was the last one, then no, because that one was actually really horrible. But like the first 3 maybe were.
I think Apocalypse was the one that takes place in the desert in Las Vegas.
So that had some fun moments. Yeah, that had some fun moments. I mean,
that's the third one. The second one is horrible.
The second one's in the city.
Yeah, it's in the city.
Yeah, again, I can
came out.
These are all background movies.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these movies basically you're going to be watching on Spike on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Not a fan of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I don't know if it's my love for the books and the miniseries and everything else like that.
Problem. It wasn't enough of the books. It was like it really watered them down.
Yeah, which is weird considering Douglas Adams wrote the script before he croaked. Death Race. That was one of Tremendo and I's dates to the Chinese theater.
That is a big fat yay.
He's talking about the Jason Statham one?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
That's a big fat yay.
I don't know. Big fat yay.
Paul Anderson.
That's for the real Paul Anderson.
He's Resident Evil guy.
Yes.
But that movie was fun. It wasn't. I didn't think it was a fat yay, but it was okay.
The Hollow Man, which
No.
Yeah, no. The Fourth Kind, I never saw actually.
Oh, it's horrible.
That's not. Oh, I guess that is the 2000s, huh? Yeah,
It's horrible.
Is it?
Yeah.
Avatar 2004. I don't know this one. Are we talking about like the cartoon? Is that?
No, I think Avatar 2000. Isn't that James Cameron? 2004.
No, 2004 is not now. 2004, 2010 is the.
I don't think the last Airbenders 2007 or something like that.
Okay, so apparently there was a 2004 Avatar that we don't know about, or he's just got his dates wrong. By the way, Magnolia 296, we are not making fun of you. We're just going through your list because you gave us a list. The Forgotten, is that the Julianne Moore movie that turns out to be aliens with kidnapping kids or some shit like that? Yeah. Anyway,
it's also known as Cyber Wars.
What is Avatar?
The Avatar.
Cyber Wars. I don't know.
Yeah.
Give us some info on that.
Hold on a second.
Okay. So while he's looking that up, a interesting list. I think we'll. I appreciate your passion and that you actually took the time to go. This is the shit that was great during 2000s that nobody's paid attention to. Boy, honestly, Star Trek Nemesis, I could not disagree with you more on though of any of them. But yeah, thank you very much for leaving your comments. We appreciate it, and please tell us what else we're doing wrong, and we'll be more than happy to discuss it here on the podcast. So thank you. I keep on wanting to say Mongolia 296. Magnolia 296. Yeah.
So Avatar is also known as Matrix Hunter, Avatar Exile, and Cyber Wars, and it's a Singaporean science fiction film directed by Kuo Jian Hong. The film was shot in 2001 and released in 2004. It has David Warner, Joan Chen, William Sanderson, and 2 other people I've never heard of.
Wow, that is a heck of a kind of B-list cast going on there. That's pretty good, actually.
Like
that's
a major release.
No, not at all. But William Sanderson, but he was just saying underrated sci-fi films of the 2000s. So we may have to give it a look.
Check that out.
That's right. We will give it a look to see. Probably not, but we will. We know it's out there now. Yeah, I like what was the Matrix type? Matrix Killers? Is that what
Matrix Hunter or something like that?
Matrix Hunter. That's a good. We need to make money off of this. Let's tie it to something else. It's like the day after Halloween. It had nothing to do with it. It's about a killer soft ice cream truck. So that's it. That's it. So next week. Actually, let's find out. So T, it's your job to choose the film for next week.
Well, I know we talked about horror movies for October, and I think.
So yeah, I was curious if you were going to go that route or not. So let's.
Yeah. Well, I was going to do a '80s cheese ball, but we already did Night of the Creeps recently. So I'm going to go with a movie that I don't know anything about. I've heard nothing but good things. It's on Netflix, and it's called. It's a recent film, recent release. John, you may have seen it already. I'm guessing you have. It's
I don't know, but well, this is exciting. Oh, really? Blue Ruin? Okay.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yes.
What?
It's called Blue Ruin.
Blue Ruin.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's a kind of I guess it's a thriller, a little bit of horror.
It's a revenge. It's a revenge thriller. Yeah, it's an indie revenge thriller. It great little stories about it. It did not get picked up for Sundance, but then got into Cannes and was a giant hit at Cannes. I think a director's fortnight. It was out of competition, but it was a giant hit at the Cannes Film Festival and was released back in the spring, I guess, probably around March or April on pay-per-view and a small theatrical release. But now it is streaming on Netflix. Fascinating choice. I'm glad. Nice pick. So that will be. We're going to kick off Halloween month with Blue Ruin. 2013, 2014, I guess we'll say officially 2014. Yeah. Cool. So next week at 9 p.m. we will be reviewing Blue Ruin. So T, where can people find you?
At El Tremendo on Twitter.
Are you going to be doing a Halloween month on?
I'm going to watch a horror movie a day, and I'm going to tweet a line a la John Santos style on Twitter because I'm too lazy to write an article a day.
That's fair.
But I will be watching a horror movie day. I will be watching a horror movie day.
A day for all the month. Nice. That's it. That's. And you've been doing that for how many Halloweens now, man? I mean, quite a while.
2009.
Wow. Okay.
And 2009 was the last time I did all 31 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been half-ass every year since. It's
nice.
Tough. I should have started in August, but too lazy. So maybe this Christmas I'll do a Christmas one. There's
got shit to do. There's stuff to do.
There's a ton of holiday horror I still haven't seen, so
right.
I may wait till Christmas time.
Right. There's all those Christmas Tree Part 2. Which one did you make me watch? I was trying to remember what we were watching.
It's called Roots 2, Tree 2, the root of all evil.
Right. Right.
The evil Christmas trees. The first one was set on Arbor Day, obviously. So.
Obviously.
Yeah. Come on. That's at eltremendo3000.com if anybody wants to read that blog entry about.
That's
Roots.
right. That's right. Roots. Yeah.
Trees 2, the root of all evil.
Yeah, it's a classic.
They came up with the title, and then they made the movie.
It's totally one of those things where they made the poster and they went and they sold it at the film market and got it made that way. Yeah.
Oh shit, we got to write a movie now.
Yeah, it was huge in Korea. Sri Lanka packed them in Sri Lanka for 3 weeks straight.
For 3 weeks straight.
Exactly. It's number one for 3 weeks. That would have been the Sri Lankan market.
Lumber
one for 3 weeks. That's
movie's horrible. Really branching out. I think it's time to leave.
But this conversation is giving me wood. Okay, Warren, where can folks?
You can find me at Warren Graff on Twitter, or now at Warren Graff at ELO.
What's ELO?
ELO is the new social network that's probably going to be gone in 2 weeks because it's so. Really
send me an invite.
You want an invite? I'll send you an invite.
What's it do?
Nothing. It's filled with hipsters and graphic designers and stuff like that.
I just want a Facebook status that says I am now Elo Tremendo.
I'm gonna send it to you tonight.
Anything for a good joke. Anyways, and I'm John Santo. You can find me at John Santo on Twitter. And next week we'll be watching Blue Ruin. It's good stuff. I liked it then. Hopefully I'll like it now. We'll see if my opinion has changed inside of 3 months. We'll find out. God knows what's happened to my mind since then. All right, Shu, don't take us out, and we will see you all later. Adios. Waiting for